I create ideas and inventions, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that process, at least in connection with ideation and sort of formal aspects of it, how to create good ideas. And specifically, I wanted to look at ideation and the connection with AI there, and also how it connects with education. So I think idea generation is really important. I think it's important to look at wide-ranging ideas, and the sort of guidance I use is to come up with really crazy and wild ideas and then pull back from that, but make sure I go way, way out into the extreme and then bring it back into reality. I think it's also important to recognize that some things come to mind right off the bat. They seem like practical solutions to practical issues, and that's really important. And sometimes your first idea can be your best idea. And then also there's the allure, making an idea alluring, whether it's visually or some other element of it that compel people to want to buy it or to use it, or make it intuitive to use, or make the design instill a sense of safety or reliability and all those kind of attributes. So there's more than just like inventing a great idea and moving on. There is more to that. What I'm commenting on today here, though, in the context of AI, is formal ideation. So specifically, in some approaches, you're asked to create a bunch of ideas. And ideas are cheap and easy, but going from, say, primitive forms to your idea in some kind of linear progression seems to me to be contrived, because most of my ideas bounce around in my head and they get worked out in my head. And I've written about this, which I'll put a link below on. But that's okay. It's okay to use your mind as a tool in idea generation. Putting pen on paper isn't necessarily required for everyone. It can be useful for some people. It can show process. It can show the development of ideas and that sort of thing. But the point here is that what I'm showing here are examples from DALL-E 2, so OpenAI's system for generating imagery, and it's out there. It's not going back, and there's other forms of it as well. So if you were to say come up with 100 ideation sketches, I can do that really fast, and I've done some here, and I've done them in marker, colored pencil, graphite, and other media. I can do other things with it as well, but it's really easy. I can type things in, and I can just kind of satisfy the requirement for a certain number of ideation sketches. So that sort of pedantic approach to creating ideas is a bit dated in this age. In other words, I would argue we have our own style of creating ideas and inventing, and mine specifically is 90+% of it's in my mind. Then I sketch things out, and then I make maquettes or make prototypes of some sort and try things out and go through that iterative process. That's how I do stuff. To create beautiful ideation sketches on Bristol board with colored pencil and marker is beautiful, and it's alluring. But is it useful for idea generation? And the answer is maybe. Maybe it is for some people. But it can add a level of formality and sort of process beauty that isn't necessarily required for the development of the product or idea. And it can disenfranchise those people that don't operate that way. So do you have to be a good artist to be a designer? No. Do you have to be a good artist to be an inventor? No. What kind of aptitude do you need to come up with good ideas? And there's no answer to that. So in design education, it's all often very interdisciplinary, and we should embrace that. And again, I'm showing some examples of idea generation, just of really sort of consumer devices, just to sort of illustrate the point. But this is so easy to do now with AI that it needs to be appreciated. And I mentioned too, there's some traditional approaches to doing things. So it's good to do a lot of stuff once just to see what it's like. For example, blind contour drawings. Try it. See if that's useful, if that's helpful. Try using blue and black ink in your, and there's a lot of techniques to like make your ideas look visually interesting. And even as I say this, it's important to realize that if you're working for a client, they don't just want one idea. They want to see that they've hired someone that can come up with many, many, many ideas. And that really is vital. Because even if you have one solution to a problem and you think it's by far the greatest, in the professional setting, you do want to represent that you've thought of other things. And how do you do that? Well, sketches and models are a great way to do it. They show that you've embraced the problem, that you've engaged it richly, that you've invested time into working out solutions. And so some of that might be marketing hype, but it is a real issue. And kind of my favorite story is taking a bunch of foam models in a bucket and dumping them on a conference room table in front of clients. I thought that was kind of powerful. It's like, here's all these ideas we had, and then we'll show you the idea we came up with, and that's valid. So don't mean to be negative about that, especially when you're working with other people where you have to interface with physical media or drawings even to share ideas. So anyway, just thought I'd share some thoughts. Thank you.